Hi guys, it's Ankita here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you a few tips and techniques that can prevent your kohl from smudging. Sometimes I just go with one particular method or one particular technique, and sometimes I mix two techniques together to prevent my kohl from smudging. But it's completely up to you. You can just go ahead with just like one simple technique, or you can follow each and every step, or you can mix and match the techniques to prevent your kohl from smudging. To a very larger extent, this will definitely prevent your kohl from smudging and it won't give you those panda eyes. So if you want to know how to prevent your kohl from smudging with the help of these techniques, then please keep watching. So the technique number one would be to use a clear eyeshadow base or clear eye primer. I have two eye primers or the eyeshadow base. This one is the NARS eyeshadow base and this one is the NYX high definition eyeshadow base. So the way I like to use these eyeshadow base is I apply the eyeshadow base slightly on my upper lid and nicely blend it with just my fingers. Don't take a lot of product, take very minimal amount, and then I just take some more product on my ring finger and I just dab it on my lower lash line and nicely blend it. Again, don't take a lot of product, and also be sure that you don't apply the eye primer or the eyeshadow base on your waterline. You don't want to irritate your eyes, so just make sure that you apply the eyeshadow base or the eye primer just on your lower lash line and then nicely blend it. You can use either of the eye primers, and these are clear ones. If you want, you can use an eye primer that is of your skin color, but don't go with an eye primer that is way too light or way too dark. You want to use an eye primer that is of your skin color, so you cannot see the difference easily and it does not look bad. So once you apply the eye primer, then you can go ahead and apply your kohl on your lower lash line. So that was the technique number one, using an eye primer or an eyeshadow base. So a lot of times people ask me that my kohl smudges easily from the waterline because I have watery eyes. So what can I do in regards to that? So the technique that I normally recommend is, once you apply the kohl on your waterline, also apply the kohl slightly on your lower lash line. So with this, even if the kohl fades away or disappears from your waterline, you still have the kohl on your lower lash line. Now it's very important what kind of kohl are you selecting. I wouldn't recommend a kohl that smudges easily. Be sure to select kohls that are more of waterproof or smudge proof kind of kohls, because those kind of kohls wouldn't budge easily. So even if the kohl disappears from your waterline, you still have kohl on your lower lash line and it wouldn't look bad. And then you can accordingly, whenever you want, you can just touch up the kohl on your waterline. So that was technique number two. So the third technique to prevent your kohl from smudging is to smudge it out. Now this one is the Rimmel Scandal Eyes waterproof kohl. But this kohl is very creamy in texture. Even though this kohl is waterproof, I don't like to apply this kohl just by itself. I always like to smudge out this kohl. And the reason I like to do this is because if you apply the kohl just by itself and if you don't smudge it out, after few hours you will see a very thin line or thin layer of this kohl in the crease, and it does not look bad, but still you can see that there's a very thin layer of this kohl in your crease. So the best way, if you're using kohls like this that are waterproof, always make sure that you apply a nice layer of this kohl and then smudge it out. To smudge it out, I'm using the Sigma Exact Blend E32 brush. You can use any flat shader brush to smudge out the kohl or to smoke out the kohl. So that was technique number 3, to smudge out the kohl. So that was technique number 3, and now let's move on to the technique number 4. So the technique number 4 is to use a loose translucent powder, or you can also use an eyeshadow to prevent your kohl from smudging. So this one is the RCMA powder. I have transferred the powder into the pack container. You get these containers in pack stores. so you can just check it out. This one is for, I guess, 225 or 250 rupees. Anyway, so either you can use a loose translucent powder, because this is not going to change the color of your kohl, or else you can always use an eyeshadow. This one is the Urban Decay Blackout eyeshadow. This one is in black color. If you want, you can play around with the colors. You can use a turquoise color, brown color, blue color, green color, whichever color you like. If you're wearing kohl on daily basis, and if you want like just like plain simple look, then you can go ahead and apply this black eyeshadow. So in today's demo, I will be using the Urban Decay Blackout eyeshadow. So first I'm going to apply the kajal, and then I'm going to smudge it out with the blending brush, and then I'm going to take some of this eyeshadow on my brush, and I'm not going to take a lot of product. I'm going to take a very little amount of product, and then I'm just going to dab off the excess, and then I'm going to apply this eyeshadow on top of my kohl, and then I'm going to smudge it out or smoke it out. I would normally follow this technique when I'm using a kohl like Smolder or Rimmel Soft kohl. If I'm using these kind of kohls, only then I would use these kind of techniques, or else I won't use it, because those kohls are extremely creamy in texture and they are very easy to smudge. This one is a really good technique to set those kohls with eyeshadow or the translucent powder. So that was technique number 4, to use an eyeshadow or loose translucent powder to prevent your kohl from smudging. So now let's move on to the technique number 5. So the technique number 5 would be to use a pressed powder. Now this one is the Rimmel Stay Matte Long Lasting Pressed Powder, and this one helps in controlling the shine, controlling the oil. The way I like to use this powder is to take this powder on my ring finger. So I take some amount of powder on my ring finger, I apply it on my upper lid, and then I apply the powder around my kohl, and then I also like to apply the kohl in the inner corner of my eye, like on this area, because I've seen most of the time the kohl tends to smudge easily towards the inner corner of the eye. So I always like to take some powder and apply it and press it gently in the inner corner of my eye. If you want, you can go ahead and apply it on top of the kohl as well. That's completely fine. So with this technique, definitely your kohl does not smudge easily, and also it does control the oil around your eyes. Like normally you'll see most of the people have oily lids. Sometimes even the under eyes are slightly oily. This helps in controlling the oil, controlling the shine. So this is one technique that works a lot for me. So those were the techniques, guys. Hope you really found it to be helpful, and thank you so much for watching my video, and I shall see you in my next one. Until next time, keep reviving your own fashion.